This videotape shows Richard Bandler working with Andy on two occasions, one in June and one in September of 1987. Several other clients are also present observing Richard working with Andy. Andy is now 27 years old and has had serious difficulties ever since his father's death in 1972 when Andy was 12. Earlier, he was diagnosed paranoid schizophrenic. More recently, he's been diagnosed borderline personality disorder. Andy has been in traditional psychotherapy and on antipsychotic medication most of the 14 years since 1972. He's lived in a sheltered living situation all his life and has had 4 brief periods of hospitalization from 1984 through 1986. This is not an instant cure videotape. Although Andy shows some hopeful signs of change, he still has a long way to go. Our guess is that it would have been much easier to work with Andy earlier, before 14 years of drugs and historically oriented therapy. We think that you'll find it very interesting to observe Richard as he begins the process of teaching Andy how to steer his own experience and gain some control over it. You'll see both sessions in their entirety.
So, what's your name?
Andy.
Hi, Andy. I'm Richard.
You must be the famous Richard Bandler.
Well,
Yeah.
could be famous, could be infamous. Who knows? So what are you doing here?
Well, the reason I'm here is because I've had a years-long struggle with mental illness. I've had imaginary figures hound me and badger me and torment me.
How do you know they're imaginary?
Because I know they're in here. It's just like
Okay.
I imagine them talking.
But you don't see them on the outside, then?
No, nothing like a auditory.
Are they visual as well as auditory? I mean, do you see them as well as hear them?
I see them in my mind.
Yeah, in your mind.
Right.
It's better than seeing them in my mind.
Right.
But they do. You have actual visual things that you see. Where do you see them in your mind?
I guess I see them, out front.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are they different than the other things that are out front? I mean, does it look different than like Steve looks or
Yeah.
these people look? Can you kind of see through them a little bit, or do they look solid?
Well, they don't look transparent. I don't think I can see through them.
Okay. How do you know the difference between the imaginary ones and the real ones?
Well, I know it's real if I look outside myself and hear them. But it's difficult to explain. It's not a hallucination where it seems real and I see it out here and hear it.
So you know it's in your head then?
Yeah,
Okay, and you say they badger you. What kind of things they badger you about?
Well, there's an old man.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that, he, as a child, I was expected by him to be a certain way. And I didn't.
The old man has been there since you were a child?
Both consciously and unconsciously.
So this is not new for you. You said for the last year. Okay, but you had all these things before the last year?
Yeah, a lot of figures.
A lot of figures. Okay. Now, when these figures talk to you, right? Okay, then they do things that make you feel bad?
Well, they say things and they give me dirty looks, and they're very nasty. Back to the old man. He orders me to take responsibility, to be responsible all the time, and all that does is get me very angry with him. He thinks I'm a punk, and I was about to say that when I was young, it's like he expected me to be a certain way, like, just general. Go to school, study hard, get this respectable job. And none of that has ever happened, and it's like he's never forgiven me for it. And I also have problems with real-world stuff, too. Like, I find guys, young men with, longish hair or whatever, I just don't like them, I don't trust them, and when they're around, I run from them, or I get real mad. Same thing with dogs and with boys about 10 to 12. And another imaginary figure named Mary, I feel organizes these encounters so I would have to face it. And she teases me about it, and I get very angry again.
Okay, how did you find out the names of these figures? Did they tell you their names, or did you name them?
The old man has no name.
Okay, well, I was speaking of Mary in particular.
Right. Well, she's from a TV show.
A television show that you've seen on TV?
Mm-hmm.
Would it be one that I'd be apt to know?
Well, it's from Little House on the Prairie, Mary Ingle.
Oh, Mary Ingle. Okay.
Ingle's before she married.
Okay, now, can you make these things appear in your mind? In other words, can you go and see Mary now?
Yeah, I can, I've tried that a lot, too, that, if I wanted to confront Mary, I'd say, Mary, I hate what you're doing, and it makes me very, very angry.
Does she appear when you do that?
Yes, I can focus in on her.
Okay, when you focus in on her, where is she located?
Kind of in front of me.
Kind of in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now, can you make her do what you want her to do?
Well, until recently, I didn't think I could. I would say to myself, well, Mary's a spirit being since she died. She's a spirit being. There's no limit to what she could do. But I'm limited because I'm still flesh and blood. And it's just a feeling of, well, since that's the way it is, I can't do anything about it.
Oh, well, I'm asking a simpler question.
Uh-huh.
Okay. The simple question is, like, can you put Mary there now? Right?
Yeah.
Okay, can you make her sing a nursery rhyme?
Kind of like...
Mary Had a Little Lamb?
That's what I was thinking, too.
Yeah.
It's more about that.
It's a good guess.
But...
Try it. See if you can do it.
Yeah, I did it just now.
Okay. All right. Now, can you have the old man sing the nursery rhyme?
Oh, boy. I did that just now.
Okay. So these are things that you can control, then?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. Now, let's try something.
All right.
Put Mary there.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Now, can you make Mary move off into the distance? Further back?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I can see her do that.
Can you have her go all the way back to the point where it's just a dot?
Yeah. Now, what I see in my mind when I try that is that I feel like I'm way out in space and there's all these stars and she's just moving back through them.
Okay, I didn't want any stars, just her, okay?
Okay.
All right, this is simply a game of follow instructions.
Right.
Okay, now, can you pull her back up close?
Yes.
Okay, now, can you take the old man, right?
Uh-huh.
All right, now, can you hear him talk? Because you must have if you had him do a nursery rhyme, right? Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Right.
Okay. Now, can you, when he sings Mary Had a Little Lamb, is his voice nice?
Still a bit gruff.
Okay, now I want you to change it so his voice is not gruff. It's pleasant.
Okay.
Okay? Have him do Mary Had a Little Lamb in a pleasant tone of voice.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what I want you to do is now take the old man. What's something he typically says to you?
That I forgot to do this or do that. I can't be specific about it.
Okay, well, just think of a couple of specific things.
Right.
You don't have to tell us. Just think of them in your mind.
Okay.
Okay. Now, what I want you to do is to hear him say the same two things, but say it real politely.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay, you got it?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I want you to go back to Mary. Okay? Now, I want you to have, you said Mary teases you sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay. What kind, and you know the kind of things that she teases you about.
Uh-huh.
Right? Now, what I want you to do is I want you to hear her say the same things, but say it real politely. Okay?
That's kind of hard for me to do, but I'll keep trying.
Well, it's your brain. I'm sure you can do it. Go ahead. On her best behavior. You got it?
Not quite yet.
Okay, take your time. Go ahead. Put a smile on her face. It will help. Now, let me show you something. If you have problems doing it, what I want you to do is move it back so that she's just a dot again, and then bring her up with a smile, okay?
But she smiles when she teases me, so I don't think that would be any help.
It's not the same kind of smile, though. Put something, it doesn't have to be a smile. Whatever it is, the way that you imagine that she would look if she was being polite. Okay? And if you have trouble changing it so that her voice tone is polite, simply move it back to a dot and pull it back up again. Okay, let me interrupt you for a minute. Now, you also told me that you had problems with getting angry.
That's true.
Okay, now, what kind of things would be apt to make you angry?
Well, I think the big number one thing is punishment. And I'll be more specific. Punishment like...
Punishment? Like
hitting.
Like if somebody hits you?
Right. Or...
That's perfectly... I don't consider that a psychiatric problem. You have every right to get mad if somebody hits you. What other kinds of things? Is there times you get angry that you don't think you should be getting angry?
Well, I get very angry at territoriality. Like, when I was 5 years old, I was at a preschool, and I'd see this toy, and I'd start to play with it, and then someone would come up and say, "It's mine," and I think somehow that's what caused the problem.
Well, it could. I don't know. I don't deal with causes. I leave that for psychiatrists. That's their domain. What I deal with is just getting control. The thing is that the biggest territory of all that you should want control over is your own brain.
Right.
So that you're driving your own bus, so to speak, and nobody else is making your brain do things other than you. Okay, now, what I do for a living is I teach people to get control of their brain. That when, you can take this old man in your mind and make it so he's pleasant to you, then he's not going to make you feel bad.
Right.
Okay, when you can take Mary and change what she does, change where she's located, how big she is, because see, for example, can you make her get bigger?
Yeah.
All right, can you make her get smaller?
Yeah.
Yeah, make her get, she was a little tiny. Like that. Make her small enough you can put her in your pocket. Can you do that? Right? Right. All right. Now, that means if she starts bugging you, you can shrink her down, stick her in your pocket. She won't bother you so much. Okay. Now, the thing is that in terms of the other things, like you said that when you're around people with long hair.
Boys with longish hair.
Boys with longish hair.
Yeah, well, maybe even, it's just, there's a lot of young males I don't like the looks of. I mean, it's not every single young man
okay,
in the
just
world,
pick one in your mind.
Yeah,
okay.
I got it.
All right, now, have you ever thought, I want you to stop for a second. Have you ever thought of something, can you think of something right now in a situation you were in that you just found funny, silly? Just anything, that when you think about it, it feels silly.
Huh?
Can you think of anything like that?
Well, say when I was trying to work with Mary, I just thought, this just ain't gonna cut bud.
It's just what?
This just ain't gonna cut it, bud.
Yeah. Did that strike you as silly?
It struck me as humorous and funny.
Okay. Now, all right, when you stop and all right, think back to it now. Is it still silly?
A little bit.
A little bit. Okay. Now, when you think about it, where is the pictures in your mind located?
I don't know.
Well, think about it.
Maybe within me.
Okay. Well, within you where? If you think about, all right, if you think about a young boy that makes you angry, right?
Right.
Okay. And then you think about this thing that's silly, right? Are the pictures in the same place?
Yes.
Okay. Are they the same size? Okay. Are they the same distance from you?
Yeah.
Okay. And yet you look at one and it feels silly, and one makes you angry? Okay. Then how do you know which things to be angry at and which things to think are silly?
Let's see. Well, maybe the more grown-up male.
The more grown-up male what?
Oh, male I don't like.
Okay, the male you don't like makes you angry?
Well,
Or
both
silly?
of them do.
They both make you angry. Okay, see, all right, let me slow down here.
Okay.
What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get you to find something that strikes you as silly. All right, something that makes you angry. So that you can find a way to change things that make you angry into things that are silly. So that you'll have a choice.
Yeah.
Okay, is that what you want? Let's back up for a minute here.
Yeah.
Out of this session with me, what is it that you would like to get as a result?
I would like to be able to attract the things and people in my life that I want and not pay any attention or notice the things I don't want.
Okay. So you'd like to be able to attract what kinds of things?
Well, pretty ladies who are about my age, and also a group of male friends too.
So you'd like to be able to make friends? Okay. Now, what stops you from being able to do that?
Well, in my mind, I see this old priest dressed in black. He's got his hand out. And whenever the opportunity comes for me to meet people, and there's a difference. If I met old friends, this guy wouldn't be as prominent.
Yeah.
But as with new people, I have labeled people that I don't know strangers. And I connected with this old priest, and I feel a great anger, and I feel that to rebel against him, I don't try to meet people, and it's a form of rebellion against the priest because he looks real distasteful to me.
Okay, now, where's this picture of the priest in your mind?
Maybe about right here. I see him from the side. He's holding out this hand.
Okay. Now, why do you bother to have the picture of the priest?
Well, it just comes naturally, automatically, out of habit.
Can you make it go away?
I haven't tried that yet.
Try it.
Let's see.
It's your brain. Think about it this way. Okay. You meet an attractive lady, right? Okay. She's a stranger. Okay. Now, somewhere in your mind, you have a picture of her and the word stranger written underneath it? Or is it written on the side, or... You said you labeled people.
It's true.
Okay, well, I just want to know how you do it. I don't have any questions about it. I believe that you do it. I just want to know how you do it.
It just happens automatically.
Okay. Well, let's say I was going to do it, okay?
Okay.
Where would I put the picture in my mind? Do I write the word stranger or print it out? How do I do it?
It's more auditory. It's not written down. It's not written or anything.
Okay,
it's
so
just like stranger.
Okay, I look at that person and I hear a voice from up here that goes, stranger.
Yes, I think that's how it works with
All right,
me.
and I see a priest from the side over here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then I get mad about the priest being there.
Uh-huh.
Okay, which probably doesn't get me to act too cool with the person I just met.
Right.
Right. Okay, now, all right, are you doing this now with me? I want you to go along with me on this.
Okay.
See, I'm trying to learn what you do, okay?
All right.
All right, in order for me to learn it, I have to make sure I have it right. So I got the priest over here.
Right.
Is his hand facing this way or that way? Is the hand facing towards the front of your face or towards the back of your head?
Towards the front of my face.
Okay, so the hand is like this. How big is the priest? Is he life-size or is he a little priest?
He seems to be about this tall.
So he's about this tall and he's over there. Okay. Now, when you say when he becomes more prominent, does that mean he gets closer or bigger or more out the front?
I just see him more clearly in my mind.
Okay, he becomes more, the picture actually gets clear.
Right.
Okay. All right. And then I also hear a voice coming from up here that goes, stranger.
Right.
Okay. Now, all right, let me try something. Can you hold that there? Does the priest stay there prominently?
Yeah, I can make it stay.
Okay, well, make it stay. All right, now, can you make it go?
Just kind of like move into the distance, shrinking.
Fade away.
Yeah.
I tell you what, try something. Put the priest on a piece of glass next to you, and then just shatter it into little pieces.
Just now, I was able to make the priest just fade out and not be there.
Okay, good.
Came back. He's alternating, fading out and coming in, and he's fading out.
All right, now try putting it on a piece of glass and just shattering it, so it breaks into little pieces, so it can't come back.
I just imagined the priest on a TV screen.
Yeah, good.
And then I broke the TV screen, and it's all gone. There's nothing but a jagged hole in there right now.
Great, good. Now, I want you to try something else. You know this voice up here that says stranger? Does it say it in a way that makes you want to meet them? Or does it go, stranger, warning, sort of a Stephen King? Do you know how Stephen King gets himself to work?
How's that?
He hears a voice from behind him about 2 feet up that goes, get to work! Scares the hell out of him and he goes to work.
He's able to create all those demons and stuff.
Yeah, well, he does that while he sleeps.
Yeah.
I'd hate to be Stephen King. Would never get a good night's sleep. But, I mean, he writes a lot of books. At least he gets paid for terrifying himself.
Right.
Now, the thing is, you know the voice that you hear up here? Okay. All right, so you meet a pretty lady.
Right.
This voice up here, does it make you want to meet them? Does it sound like a warning or something? How does it sound? Does it sound angry, happy?
Well, it's part of a song. Looking for love only for strangers.
So it says it like that?
Yeah.
Now, can you change that voice in a way that says, instead goes, ah, a beautiful woman? Can you hear it like that? Now?
Here's what just happened. Okay, I saw the lady. She's blonde. She's wearing this pretty summer dress. And what I hear in my mind is, wow, is she pretty? And the effect is so strong that I speak it. So my mind says, wow, is she pretty? And I say, wow, is she pretty? And then I start to go up to her. And then I see myself dressed in black. And my hair is slicked back, and I look like the 50s or something like that. And that's a feeling of inadequacy.
Okay, well, slow down here.
Okay.
You're just kind of rushing through all this stuff in your mind. Okay, so the thing is your mind is moving so fast, it hardly gives you time to be alive.
Right.
Okay, just slow down. See, you're throwing in all this extra stuff.
Yeah.
See, and as long as your mind is moving that fast, it's just going to confuse you. Right? Thing is like, give yourself a little peace and quiet in there. Just take a break. Okay, just think about the pretty lady. Say just what I said inside your head and don't do anything else. Give yourself a break.
Uh-huh. You mean just look at a lady and think,
Just say to yourself, say, good-looking lady. Doesn't mean you have to do anything. Doesn't mean you have to make pictures of yourself from the 50s. You don't have to do all of those things. In fact, if you do so much of that stuff, all you do is you make yourself kind of worried and freaked out.
Right.
It's a lot of work. Stephen King gets paid for it. Nobody's paying you for it.
Right.
Right? I'm just suggesting you kind of go on strike a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, just take it easy.
Okay.
All right? Just, you know, I mean, a beautiful woman is something to just admire. Just saying, you know, I just see a pretty lady, I look at her and I go, pretty lady. Doesn't mean you have to talk to her, doesn't mean you have to do anything. All you have to do is just relax, that's all.
And enjoy her.
Yeah. It's like a piece of art. You don't have to make any meaning out of it. You don't have to do anything. See, all of these images you're creating in your mind and all that kind of stuff, they should be paying you to do that. That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was doing that stuff all the time, I'd get confused. Now, just sit back, relax, make a picture of a beautiful woman in your mind, and just say to yourself in your own tonality, pleasantly, from right up about here, pretty lady. Take a deep breath and just relax.
Okay.
Isn't that easier?
Yeah.
Now, the thing is that it sounds like your life's been a lot of work.
It's sure true. It's been like a war sometimes.
Yeah. Now, the thing is that when you just did that right now, did the priest appear?
No.
Well, took care of that problem. Now, you have an infinite amount of television sets in your mind that you can shatter to get rid of these things that are bothering you. The first thing you need to learn for yourself is how to have some space and some peace and quiet. How to be able to, you know, see, it's like when you look at that lamp up there, you just look at it and you go, lamp. You don't have to think about anything else, do you?
No.
Okay, now, you look at it.
Sorry.
I'm not going to hurt you.
Okay.
I'll let you know when I'm going to hurt you. I always give warning first.
All right.
My fangs come out. Okay, now, you look over at her. She's a pretty lady. When you look at her, all you have to do is think inside your own head. There's a pretty lady. Take a deep breath and relax. You don't have to do anything else. Okay. That's called being mellow. Now, I think a little bit of mellow would go a long way with you if you just began to give yourself a break. See, when you fill all the gaps in your experience with all kinds of things, what happens is your mind's going to start to get overloaded. It's hard for you to then drive your own bus, so to speak, to control which thoughts you have, which ones you don't have. Now, the thing is like, stop and think about that guy, the one that, when you thought about, made you angry. All right? Now, what I want you to do is when you think about him, I want you to just take a deep breath and go, so what? Who cares? Can you do that? Sitting here right now, try it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I even added some more, like, who cares about him anyways, like the 70s, and they're over.
Boy, they sure are, aren't they? Now, the thing is, does it make you feel better? See, it seems to me that ultimately what you're talking about is feeling better. Feeling more comfortable, feeling more confident. Now, let me show you something. You can go inside your head and just count from 1 to 10, right? And do nothing else. Just count, go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, no pictures of anything. No pictures of the numbers, just your own voice counting, right?
Right.
And then at the end, take a deep breath and relax, okay? Okay, did you get to 10? Is that easy enough?
Yeah.
Okay, now, what I want you to do is now go through and make pictures of the numbers. Don't do anything else, just a picture of a 1, a picture of a 2, a picture of a 3.
Did it.
Okay. Now, take a deep breath. Relax. Now, what you did is you deliberately used your mind. Now, the task wasn't all that important. Now, you can sit around and count with an internal voice. You can sit around and make pictures and numbers. You can make pictures of yourself having fun. Can you make a picture of yourself doing something you really enjoy doing? Don't even have to do it. Just make a picture of yourself enjoying doing something. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, now, you can do that, or you can also stop and make a picture and scare the hell out of yourself, too. Make a picture of something that just scares the crap out of you. Can you do that? Or make a picture of something that makes you angry?
Yeah.
Now, which do you want to do?
I'd rather dream about the fun
Things.
Yeah.
Now, you also don't have to do any of it. You can just take a break. Take a deep breath and relax and just look at what's going on around you. You know, you don't have to really get... See, when you do things in your mind all the time, you get amped out. Start getting nervous. I mean, I do it myself. It's not anything that's special to you by any means. I make myself crazy sometimes, too. The thing is that all I have to do is just stop, take a breath, and relax. It's not that hard, is it?
No.
How do you feel now? You look kind of mellow.
I do?
Yeah, you do. How do you feel?
Like asking.
Yeah.
That's all I have to do, just relax and take life slower.
Yeah. Believe me, this isn't my first time. I've met...
I don't doubt your experience, believe me.
Well, the thing is I found that people make too much out of things. That, you know, we've all got demons in our minds, right? The thing is do we keep them there or not? And the thing is with me, if I have those things in my mind when I don't want them there, then I get them out of the way. Sometimes they're useful. For example, I have a little trouble getting up in the morning. You know, you may have noticed this started at 1.
It's true.
You know, but I mean, there are some days where I have to get up in the morning, and what I do is, if worst comes to worst, in order to get myself up, I make images that just scare the shit out of myself till I get up. And it works. But once I'm up, I stop making the pictures. Just whoosh, push them away. Now, I tell you what I'm going to ask you to do. I want a little test here. I tell you what I want you to do. I want to just have you go, I want you to go sit out in the other room for about 5 or 10 minutes. Maybe even walk down through the rest of the hotel. And what I want you to do is, if anything comes into your mind that starts to upset you in any way or make you uptight, I want you to take a deep breath and relax and sing Mary Had a Little Lamb, or just comment on, you know, if you see a picture, just say, oh, there's a picture. If you see a pretty lady, just say to yourself, there's a pretty lady. If you see a guy with long hair, just look at him and go, there's a guy with long hair. And if you get any of these images or any of these figures in your mind, and they start to bother you, put them on a TV set, smash it, make them go away.
Or turn the set off.
Yeah, fuck it, turn the set off. Okay, now I want you to take about 10 minutes and walk around and then come on back up here, okay?
Okay.
All right?
Thanks.
Just stay cool.
You bet.
There ain't that much to be upset about.
All right.
All right. So, how'd it go? And you walked around?
Well, I just walked around, and I noticed from where a kitchen was, I listened to some music. There's some music on a radio they had there. So what happened was that I went a little ways, and I just sat down in a chair and relaxed and listened to the song. It was kind of an oldie, and while it was playing, I relived and remembered some good memories, in grade school memories.
Does that feel good?
It sure does.
Does that feel better than annoying yourself and scaring yourself?
Yeah.
Now, the trick is that if you keep in mind that the basic principle that feeling good feels better than feeling bad.
Right.
And that what you do is you also understand that people like to be around somebody who feels good. That when you start feeling good yourself, see, then what happens is that people will become attracted to being around you because you're not tense, you're not uptight, you're not weird, you know, and that, you know, when you're dealing with all this stuff in your mind, when you bring up the stuff that bothers you, the faster you get rid of it, the more relaxed you'll stay, and the more friends you'll start making.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I'll tell you something, people get tired of being around people who have problems all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they'd rather tell you about their problems. You know, and, you know, personally, I try to find the people with the least amount of problems I can.
Mm-hmm.
So, I tell you what I want you to do. You going to be around this weekend?
Well, not here in Boulder.
Well, where are you going to be?
Well,
far away?
Yeah, I'm going on a little trip with my brother to Santa Fe, New Mexico. That's Saturday.
Nice town. Okay, think you can throw for a phone call?
What's this about a phone call?
I said, can you afford to give me a phone call from Santa Fe?
Yeah, I think I could do that. I just wouldn't know the number, though.
Well, I tell you what we can do here.
Of course, write it down. Logical.
No, it's going to make it even easier on you.
All right.
I had a book of matches here a minute ago. Some cameraman walked off with them. Here you go. It's right here. The Boulder Broker Inn. Phone number's right here.
Uh-huh.
Okay? And
Okay.
you remember my name, right?
Richard Bandler, of course.
Right. Okay. And I tell you what you do. You give me a call and tell me if you, as long as you can keep these things, and you concentrate while you're riding in the car, everywhere you stop while you're in the car, and everywhere you go, just, you know, or unless you go by plane, of course, then don't do it in a car, but wherever you are, just keeping yourself in a good mood so you feel good.
Uh-huh.
Okay? Think you can do that?
Yes.
Okay. I think you can, too.
Thanks.
Thank you. Stick this in your pocket, though.
All right.